Hi, I'm Alistair with Ocean Rodeo, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your front line leaders on your Ocean Rodeo stick shift bar. So the first thing I'm going to do is cover some of the things that I did off camera before this video started. Number one is I removed my front flying lines. It's important to do this outside so you can avoid any kind of line tangles. So we're going to need a few basic tools to get started with our replacement. So you'll need pliers, a sewing awl or a punch, a mallet, and your front line leader replacement kit. So the first thing you want to do is remove your chicken loop from the bar. To do that, you'll need your rubber mallet and your sewing awl. So what you're going to do is basically position your sewing awl on top of the pin below the red dot on your swivel head and take your mallet and punch that pin out. It sometimes helps to position the rotor head on the edge of a table so that you can push your pin out without any barriers blocking it. Okay, so once you've got your pin pulled out of your rotor head using your pliers, you want to take your safety line and pull it from the bottom of your chicken loop by grabbing the leash loop. Next, you want to take your sleeve and pull it away from the bottom of the safety line to reveal your leash leader and your leash connection loop. Next, you want to remove your leash ring and your leash leader from the base of your safety line. Do this by undoing the loop-to-loop connection. Next, you can remove the stainless steel sleeve from the end of the safety line. This can be quite tight on the end of the line, so grab a pair of pliers and hook it around the flange and pull it off as shown here. Next, remove your safety line from the chicken loop. You'll notice that it will pull a small steel bushing with it. Afterwards, you want to pull your static front line off of the chicken loop as well. Set your chicken loop and your small steel bushing aside. Next, get out your front line leader replacement kit. In this kit, you'll notice there are 2 leader lines and 1 small threading line. One of the lines has a tag on it marked safety line. This will replace the orange line on your bar. To replace your safety line, find the orange loop extending from the end of your line splitter and attach it to your new safety line using a lark's head loop. To make a lark's head in your threading line, make a loop on one end and wrap it around the knotted end of your threading line. Pull these together tightly and your lines will now be securely fastened together. Before you do your replacement, you want to make sure you remove the safety line sticker on the replacement leader line. This is just to make sure you don't pull this through your PU tube in the replacement. Okay, so there are a couple different methods you can use to fix your line splitter to the table. You can use some strong tape, a clamp, or if you don't have either of those things, you can get a friend to hold on while you do it. After you've replaced your safety line, grab a Sharpie and mark a point right at the base of the splice of the line. This will distinguish between your safety and your static front lines. Okay, now that you've replaced your safety line, it's time to repeat that process on your other front line leader, the static line. So to do that, use your little white threading line here, tie a lark's head knot just like we did on the previous line, and pull that through the bar again. Now, one thing to remember, there'll be a little bit of friction caused when you're pulling 2 lines through that PU tube at the same time. So if you feel any tension, grab both lines and pull them together, pull them through together at the same time. This will reduce the friction. Just be sure to not pull your safety line replaced leader all the way through the bar. Okay, so now that you've got your front line leaders back on the bar, the next step is to replace the chicken loop. You can basically do this by reversing your steps from the start of the video. The first thing we want to do is attach both of our front line leaders to the chicken loop hub. Do the static line first, then take your safety line. Be sure to thread back on the little steel bushing. To do this, you can use your white threading line here. It does require a little bit of force to get the spliced loop through the steel bushing, so what I generally do is use the handle of a pair of pliers and loop that through the end of the threading line and pull the threading line through the steel bushing along with the end of the safety line. Here it requires a fair amount of work to get done, but once it's on, it slides freely. I thread my new safety line back through the chicken loop, making sure to seat the bushing into the top of the rotor head. Next, I want to pull the safety line back through its protective sleeve. To do this, I've attached the threading line again. I run it through the sleeve. I hook on the awl here as shown and use the pliers as leverage to basically pull on the flange of the sleeve while pulling with the awl to pull the safety line through the pin. This can be kind of tight and requires a bit of force. Next, we're going to attach our leash loop and our leash leader. To do that, run your leash leader through your leash loop like so. Take your safety line, run the spliced end through the loop in the leash leader and around your leash loop and safety ball. Pull down your sleeve pin, shown here. Now you're ready to reattach your rotor head to your chicken loop. As you can see here, I've reduced the distance between the rotor head and the chicken loop. To do this, I basically pulled on the two front lines where they exit the line splitter to pull these two pieces closer together. Now that I've got a decreased distance, I want to add my placeholder pin that's included in your front line leader replacement package. This pin should be added like so that it goes between both lines. To pull your chicken loop together with your rotor head, pull on both line leaders where they exit the line splitter. Finally, it's time to reinsert the pin back into the rotor head. Note that you want to reinsert this pin to the hole without the red marking, and also you want to insert it knurled side up. As you see here, I can place the pin in roughly with my finger and then set it on the edge of the table before tapping it in with a mallet. You can see here that the placeholder pin will extrude from the other end of the rotor head. Just keep pounding until you push that through the other side. And then finally, just to make sure that that pin sits flush, you can take a pair of pliers and just push it all the way through. So, now that you've replaced your chicken loop, you're almost ready to go. You just need to go out and get your front flying lines back on the bar. So head outside, do an open space where you can avoid line tangles. Reattach your lines and then check them to make sure all lengths are equal. Once you know all lengths are equal, you're ready to get back out on the water. Thanks a lot, that's it for the tutorial. My name's Alistair. Have fun out there, guys.